This is my Cobra radio from the bus. I believe we put it in there in about 2002, just before I came to Idaho. It was used, it had been in a hay truck and had been through serious weather conditions, but still worked really quite well. In an old truck that leaked around the air conditioner and the CB got wet and all that stuff, and it still worked great. My point here is that finally it quit. You know, it's only, and it's not badly quit either. The lights are on and you can change here. It might even be this PA switch. According to some people, that could be an issue. What I want to tell you about is this Cobra, built in 1995, is bidirectional. It will go positive or negative ground. There is no connection between the negative or the positive. Nothing, not like the new 25. And I don't know. What I do know, hi, this is August, and the CB radio is important to the bus because it's fun to listen to. It is fun to listen to. It's usually the drivers that are coming towards us. They see that bus in the fast lane, and they can't help but get on the radio right quick and tell people that are behind them, hey, coming up here, keep your eyes peeled, man. There's an old gray just flying in the fast lane. Type of thing. That's the kind of comments you get. Or they'll get on the radio, they'll see that you have an antenna, or maybe they've heard you talking to somebody else on the way that's already said something. But that's usually what I'm talking about is, and other bus drivers too. But truckers are the ones that's got the CBs. So anyway, my point is that how can I thought, well, I'm going to mount this radio, and I've learned about what the antenna light is here. I wouldn't mind, it's like, okay, well, maybe the 29 would be all right with that built-in meter, so I could always check in different areas for what's going on rather than hook up. So the 29 is a good idea. So maybe the 25 wasn't the best idea, but it stands to reason that the 25 used to have the mic coming out the side like this too, not coming out the front, and the squelch and the volumes are not together on this. And this mic I try to figure out. I think this is a kit. It had the radio, and it had the antenna, and it had the mic, the diesel mic. I can only speculate what the situation is here, but the fact of the matter is these radios used to be positive and negative ground, because in the 50s and early 60s, the vehicles were positive ground, these big trucks. And I have so many friends that have big trucks, beautiful old collection of big trucks that are kept inside. And they all have their CB radios. And I'm absolutely sure that those radios, they're spotless. The radios and the trucks are absolutely spotless, kept that way in the entirety. So trucks that are positive ground that have a radio in them have been that way for a long time. And it's very possible that rather than, because people fix these CBs, and so it's highly likely that somebody would fix it, or there's other people with these old trucks that have something to say about the positive ground situation. There's a fella online I want to mention. I thought he was a knowledgeable fellow. Well, he is a knowledgeable man, and he's been installing and calibrating and tuning radios for 10 years, something on that nature, young man. And he does not know anything. He didn't want to talk to me much about this. He says, well, every radio that we hook up, we hook it black wire to the ground. And he just absolutely wasn't interested. And maybe he already knew he could. I don't know what. He didn't want to admit that he didn't know anything about one particular thing. He's a knowledgeable fellow, and but I haven't seen anybody talking about the fact that these old radios are bidirectional. This is wonderful. This is radio. Was an unbelievable just worker. People would say, and I would hear, and it brought broadcasts in really quite clear. The new radio seems to have some characteristics that maybe it'll be just fine. This radio wasn't high fidelity or anything, but it was really pretty clear. Has a channel 9 normal. Channel 9 and normal. So that would take you right to channel 9. Put it to normal. This is one of the two handheld radios. Anyway, this is all I have to talk to the radio that's in the bus. The negative ground radio that I decided to keep. I was told, they won't even recommend what to do because they're so worried about it. They thanked me over at Cobra. They thanked me very much for pointing out the fact that the documentation, she was just absolutely shocked. She didn't know that the documentation to the 25 and the 29 do not clarify the fact that, we don't do positive ground anymore. So, see, let me see. Is this on? Oh, yes, of course it is. That's the radio up there.
10-4, good buddy. How are you doing today? I'm way too close.
But as you can see, there's a little antenna that's picking it up at this time. And I'm just waiting to, I have a couple ideas about what to do to the antenna. But it's just going out there on this is my antenna. And at this point, because of the grounding situation with the new radio, the bottom of the antenna has also been isolated from ground. So we can send that cable its direction and make sure it's not, that it's not grounded at all and there's no possibility, and we'll give it a whirl, see what it thinks of that antenna that came with that radio. And this, I'm sure it did. I see no reason why to think. It doesn't say Cobra on this radio. It says Diesel 8-1 dynamic. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's the original. I just don't know. But there's my original 29 that does. See, and that has the RX antenna, has a red antenna light, screwing that light on it, which the new radio does. So anyway, I hope this is helpful to any of you folks. I'm sure some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've had CBs in your old trucks, and then you go to replace it, and the damn thing shorts out right quick.
10-4.
Where's my meter doing? Oh, it's burying. I'm blowing out. Now. But if I leave this, let's see, can we? I'm going to go back here behind the bus and talk to it.
Radio check on 19. Radio check on 19. Radio check on 19. Radio check on channel 19. Come in. Hey, check out that gray flying in the fast lane. I haven't seen one of those since the 70s. So anyway, that's basically what the radio does. I'm walking around the place, and
there's so much work been done to the Hespers to make it right, to fix the infrastructure. Windshield wipers are very important. I just got completely sidetracked with the fact that my CB radio didn't work anymore, and then absolutely nothing. It's the same exact plug. You'd think, well, one that would do positive ground, they would change the plug so you couldn't plug it in, but it's just they're not aware. There's just, and maybe the people that do have the antique trucks and the radio that runs, these old radios used to do that. So it is my goal to make this, and it has, it doesn't have an adjustment. So it has to do with the positioning of your antenna, whether or not it reflects or sucks up its own signal. So that's what is going to be looked at here. And anybody out there that has already done this, hey, please comment. Tell me what you did. What's your take on this? Who has blown up a radio in their positive ground trucks from the 50s? How can you call a Cobra 29 LTD? Oh, well, it's the circuit board. We've been using that. It's the circuit board that makes it the classic. Okay. All right. Well, the circuit boards aren't exactly the same, are they? If it doesn't take positive, it must cost less money to set it up or do something that way. Maybe there is some real advantage, but I have these other tricks to do with the antennas. How is it? I'm thinking that between the insulator, between the two, the positive and negative, at the radios, right there at the radio, there maybe should be a capacitor. We'll get this antenna fixed. I'm going to hear your CB stories. You people that have these old machines with positive ground and that have a radio that was made by Cobra that has, that's capable either way. They were. And they aren't anymore. There's still a lot of beautiful antique trucks out there, but it also stands to reason their beautiful antique trucks have their beautiful antique radios in them too. And they're fixable. So it's not like you can't get them fixed. And likes, I'm sorry that I haven't published any videos about the bus, and I haven't done much with my tractors. Just put a new gas tank in it. Tractor. The bus smiles every chance it gets. This camera is amazing. I mean, it's almost after dark, and there's the bus sitting behind me. It's so happy. It's been getting so much work done to it, and then I ran into the dilemma with my CB radio, and I'm just very passionate. This 20, it's a LTD 25 classic. Oh, it's got to say, it's a classic too, but it's been around for a long time. And the 25 also has a, it's like the one without the built-in SRW meter, and a little more compact for an area in a car rather than a truck, whatever. I just ended up with one, that's all. Maybe if I did it again, if I was to do it again, I think maybe I would take the 29 LTD. I'm still not sure what the FM, how that works, but I'm using AM at this time, and I think I have very little money invested in this radio at this time, and I feel very confident that I will succeed with the position and angle of my diesel flex antenna, that this radio will perform very, very well with the positive ground outer shell of the bus. And I am going to be testing the capacitance between the positive and the negative and see if there is something of a capacitor that, or maybe a resistor, 1 mega ohm or something, between the positive and the negative on the bus. 1 mega ohm resistance is enough to let static discharge, but not have somebody. It's static discharge for a human body, but it's a mega ohm will keep you from being fried by 480 volts. You won't even know it's there. So mega ohm's good. I just don't know what it's good for. This is a puzzlement. I have to move on. I'm not going to be able to prove the radio. Well, you've seen what I can prove with these little walkie-talkie CB radios. You can talk to it. So that's real good. Positive ground vehicles and a CB radio. What did they do? What model radio do they have? I would love, please put it in the comments, what it is you have and what is the circumstances. Many of these old Cobra radios are good for positive ground. In the old days, 1995, I don't know at what point. I see radios that are very, very similar and in the same age. I have a tendency to think those radios are the same as mine. And their documentation do not tell you anything about positive or negative ground. They're going to fix it. I was told thank you. They told me thanks. Thank you for pointing out we are changing the documentation to all of the radios. Thank you for pointing that out. And of course, I was told by one of my favorite CB sellers there on the, I'm not going to mention names or anything, but I was upset because I felt like he was rude to me. I thought he should know more about positive ground, and he wasn't interested in positive ground at all. He's interested in selling negative ground radios, and he doesn't want to sell me a radio because he doesn't know how to hook it up and make it. He doesn't know, he doesn't have the perfect answer, and he really didn't want to say that either, but I still like him. He's in the business of selling radios, Cobras, what have yous, all kinds of radios, and he will tune them up, get them peaked up, and then get it sent out to you, type of a deal for reasonably the same price as you're buying them. So I think he has a good deal on there, and I can't think of his name right now, and even so, because I have criticized him a little bit constructively. So I don't know what the answer is now that Cobra doesn't, and probably none of them and get my old radio fixed, but it's not beautiful. This 29 looks beautiful. I sort of want the area to look good, and I want the radio, and I am bent on proving that the antenna can perform sitting on the side of this positive ground. That's all I have to do. There is no danger, you've seen it, of shorting that radio. So please, comments, likes, stories about your experience with positive ground equipment and CB radios. That's what I want to know about. And thank you so much for watching my videos. Sorry I haven't sent a video out in a while, but I've done a whole lot of work on the bus, and I have video of the work done. A presentation needs to be made. It's infrastructure only. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate people that I mean, likes are wonderful. I mean, it makes me feel like I'm helping somebody or something. It makes me feel like I'm helping. That's what my job has always been, is to get out there and get the machine fixed. So, this is August. I will see you here. You have a good evening.